like to apologize for my absence. I was traveling, and before that I had a lot of technical issues that was caused. I don't really know what happened, but I'm going to re-record what I had in my previous video and added some new stuff. I haven't had time to check out the channel since I got back. We got back really late last night, so apologies if I repeat anything that someone else has already said. I might go back through and re-upload something after checking out the channel and what's been going on. So first off, in my video scheduled for my last post, I talked about the recent legalizations of marijuana and how, you know, personally I'd always had a lot of mixed feelings about marijuana, because on one hand you hear all of this stuff that may or may not be true about marijuana and what it does to people and how it's a gateway drug, and but on the other hand it has medical uses, and personally I think that it's become legalized in several, or will be implemented as a legal medicinal and recreational drug in several states. Denver has the big headquarters for that. And I think the way that they're implementing it is good, because it's going to be heavily taxed, and most of that tax will be going to building schools, building hospitals, funding those sorts of things. And I think that's a really excellent way to allow this to be legal but still get benefits from it. And you know, I'd also like to talk about, there's so much stigma with marijuana in terms of, you know, brain development and addiction and, you know, the whole gateway ability. But a lot of the studies that show that marijuana affects brains in a poor manner and you know, decreases brain development, particularly teens, aren't conclusive, in the sense that it does affect your short-term memory temporarily. It you know, does cause some cardiovascular changes, but in people 13 to 30, it isn't conclusive that it's a factor in decreasing IQ. And if you think about it, from 13 to 30, there's so many other things that affect what you, how you think, how your brain changes, what your IQ, how it fluctuates. So it isn't really correct to place a dropping in IQ in teenagers on marijuana. As far as it being a gateway drug, I don't think marijuana is really a gateway anything except like eating yourself out of house and home. And of course, the thing that marijuana comes with, the stigma, it's really that if you're a risk taker, in the sense that you will try marijuana, then you might also be a risk taker and you would try something stronger. But that has nothing to do with marijuana itself. It has to do with the personal, you know, function. It also has a lot of medicinal purposes. It's used with people who go through chemotherapy. It's found to help destroy tumors and cancers, and that's a very significant thing. I mean, cancer is one of the spectrums that we're still trying to fight, still trying to cure. And a lot of the cures can be very painful, so not only can marijuana help with the cancer itself, but it can help with the side effects of chemotherapy, and that's a big deal. Okay, on to a new topic for this week's post. Recent jury rulings. There have been new laws created to forbid jurors from using their smartphones, their computers, their PDAs while they're on trial, and forbidding them from talking and posting about their trials and researching things. And this goes back to the reading I've had for you guys to do. It's called The Diamond Age. It's about, you know, it's speculative fiction. And it shows how heavily people rely on technology and how they've forgotten what books are, and what, like, a lot of the text isn't text anymore, it's pictures that move. And I'll talk about this later in next week's broadcast, because I have another thing besides the technology to talk to you guys about. But in these jury cases, people will go on Twitter, they'll say, oh, I'm at jury duty, oh, or it's a drug case, oh, doing this, and it leads to people discussing things. And you know, part of being a jury is you're supposed to be not attached to the trial itself. And it goes back to a case where a defense lawyer, I think it was defense, Googled the members of his jury before the trial. And it caused this thing where, you know, you can't do that because it gives you an advantage. You can appeal directly. Oh, this person has a family. Oh, and their child was killed by, you know, a drug thing or an automobile accident. And this is a case relating to that. So you can appeal differently. And it gives that side an advantage that isn't fair. And so lawyers have also had these rulings, but jurors especially. So it's really interesting to see how in this technological age where jurors are turning more tech savvy than judges, or more tech savvy than lawyers, but they're still so connected into digital information and to their Facebooks and their Twitters and to Google that there have had to be special laws in place now. In New Jersey is one of the ones that's really doing it. That people have to now ban, you know, cell phones and PDAs and computers because people are abusing that, and simply because, you know, putting out on Twitter, oh, I'm at jury duty, or I have jury duty, it's a drug case. You can't do that because not only does it allow other people to open channels of conversation that seem harmless but are actually you indulging information that hasn't been released, or it's channels to, you know, as a jury or a jury member, you're not supposed to know. I mean, yeah, of course you could have experience with trials and stuff, but you're not supposed to form attachments. You're supposed to be, you know, someone who's in a peer group, but not like attached or related or invested in the person or people you're, you know, voting towards or against, or the trial itself. So it's interesting how cell phones and stuff can bring legal issues in trials, and I've had, you know, overruns, you know, misrulings in the past. Now I'm approaching my 8-minute mark, and I'm not supposed to be on the computer right now, so I hope no one knows. But yeah, I will be here next week if all goes well. Yeah, that's about it. I'm running unscripted today, so I'm sorry if I've been rambling. But yeah, that's about it. So, this is Sky. I will see you next time.